Hello and welcome to another edition of Tuesdays with a Disability Policy for All. Today I have the great fortune to be talking to Jennifer Longdon, who is a gun prevention advocate. So welcome, Jennifer.
Hi, thank you for inviting me, Liz.
We're going to be talking about violence as I think you know, there has been so many violence. There has been so many shootings around the country, so therefore we're talking about that subject. The first question is, Jennifer, would you be willing to share with the audience your story around gun violence?
Sure. Well, what you can't see sitting here is I'm a full-time wheelchair user. I acquired my disability 12 years ago when I was riding in a truck, holding my fiance's hand. We were making wedding plans, and someone sideswiped us and fired 5 random bullets. And when the shooting was done, my fiance had been shot 3 times. Once in the shoulder, once through the wrist, and the other bullet lodged in his brain. And the very last bullet that was fired hit me in the back, and now I'm a T2 paraplegic as a result of that gunshot. So in one fell swoop, I got a very fast immersion into cross-disability advocacy.
Thank you so much for sharing with us your story. It sounded like it was a horrible experience, but I'm glad that you're here to be sharing your story.
Thank you. You know, in that moment, we became a statistic. We became 2 of the 272 people that are shot each and every day in the United States. More than 100,000 people are shot in the course of a single year. And that comes down to about 1 person shot every 5.5 minutes. Now, for every person who dies as a result of gun violence, 2.5 more people, like me, are wounded. So this really is a public health crisis in the United States, Liz.
Thank you. The next question is, why do you think, after so many shootings around the country, we just had the shooting in Orlando, and why can't we seem to manage to pass strong gun control laws?
Wow, if I really knew exactly how to solve that problem, then we'd fix the issue. Now, certainly we've had another tragic and high-profile shooting in Orlando, the worst mass shooting, single mass shooting in the United States. But since 1982 to this moment, the total number of casualties, both wounded and killed in mass shootings and all of that time, still equal only a single week of everyday gun violence in the United States. And the issue is that the gun lobby has such a stranglehold on our elected officials through money and influence that we've been unable to pass sensible legislation, even though more than 90% of the American public agrees things like universal background checks and safe storage would save lives.
The last question is, unless you have other things you would like to talk about, is there anything else that I missed that you would like to talk about related to violence that gun costs?
Sure. So gun costs, the results of gun violence in the United States cost us as a nation about $27 billion annually. In my own state of Arizona, that's $5.5 billion each year in the costs of gun violence in terms of criminal justice, medical costs, social support interventions. There are any number of things that we can start to do to help end this plague of gun violence. Universal background checks would be one important way we could start. Education on safe storage of weapons would be another. Now, Congress likes to talk about mental health, and I would say that we need to be careful that we do not paint all individuals with mental health issues or psychiatric disabilities with this broad brush. The place that I would say that mental health does come into play is in terms of depression and suicide. The lion's shares of death every day, about 60 deaths each day, are the result of suicide by gun. And so that is a place where we could use mental health interventions as well as perhaps better pain management or social support to assist those individuals, and perhaps they would live to see another day. Now, it seems daunting. You know, every day there's another shooting, there's another shooting, there's another shooting. But Liz, we can have an impact, and we have to raise our voices with our elected officials and let them know that we've had enough and that we want an end to this plague of gun violence in our nation. 100,000 people shot each and every year, and we can make it stop.
Thank you. Did you get married? You said that.
Unfortunately, the nature of his injury meant that he wasn't able to make a decision to marry. His brain injury is substantial, and so we were not able to marry. But he still remains very dear in my heart, and I love him.
Well, I'm sorry for that, but as I said, I'm glad you're here to be able to tell your story. So thank you.
Liz, thank you so much for this opportunity to talk to you today.
Thank you, and have a nice day. And if you have any questions about this or any other issues, please go to the AUCD webpage and look for this week's In Brief. And if you have any questions or comments about this week's Tuesday's list with the disability policy for all, please leave them in the space below. Thank you, and have a nice day. And again, thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.